like 37 girls. Our parents religious. Sometimes they can be like, we had one girl, or I wasn't there when she was there, but they had one girl whose dad was a pastor. And actually, I totally forgot about this until just now. The pastor of the church they go to sent their daughters there. So yes, some of them are, but there's also some that were, I want to say Jehovah Witnesses before they came. Chanel, I think I don't want to say she was practicing Catholic, but I know her background was Catholic. So a lot of them come from different backgrounds, but they are forced to believe the only thing, the independent fundamental Baptist religion. I don't know if now every independent fundamental Baptist is different. When I say different, I mean, like I wasn't allowed to watch TV. I wasn't allowed to play, but I had friends, like my best friend growing up. She was allowed to watch Pokemon. She was allowed to watch Yu-Gi-Oh. She was allowed to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I got some of the outside world knowledge from her. But the thing with that, another question was I allowed to have friends? No. She was my friend, and the only time we were allowed to hang out was at school when we were homeschooled. But when we were at Agape, the staff girls were in a separate building, and we all did like our school there. And so I got to play with her then. And so thanks to her, I definitely got some of the taste of the outside world. So she would write song lyrics down. The one I remember is Bowling for Soups. What is that song? I want to say 1985. Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, that song. She wrote down every single lyric she could, and then she would bring it to school, and her sister Rebecca had the prettiest voice. And so she would sing Rebecca. We would make Rebecca sing that song over and over. We'd be like, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it to us, sing it to us. It was so funny. It was so funny because that was the only type of music I was allowed to listen to. Do they feed girls properly? No. When I was there was a girl who was put on quarter portions because my dad said she weighed 300 pounds. I'm not saying anything on that other than my dad said she was overweight, and he would force her to, he didn't force her to overeat. He gave her quarter portions. So everyone else would get either normal size portions or double portions. Like if he thought you were too vain, like looking at yourself, he would make you overeat. I'll get onto that a little bit. But this one girl in particular, she came and she was put on quarter portions. So he literally starved her. This is the same girl that he would make run laps around our horse pen. And before he made her run laps, he would make her chug 2 pitchers of water and then make her run. And then when she got inside, she was her food was peanut butter with oatmeal on it, and that happened for like, I want to say weeks. Some of these girls, like Chanel, when she was there, she got as skinny as I got, and she's a taller girl than I am. And just looking back at her pictures now, it's frightening how skinny a lot of these girls were because of how little food they got to eat. Now the double portions, there was this one girl, when she came, she was a very, very pretty girl, but when she came, I don't know why she got sent, but my dad said that she was having problems with sleeping with boys. I don't know. When she got there, she, looked in the mirror too long. And so he cut her hair, she had long, beautiful blonde hair. He cut her hair off and then started forcing her to eat double portions. Her mom lived the state over in Oklahoma, and they would come to the town Stockton to go to the lake a lot of the times for their family reunion and stuff. And so her mom called my dad up and was like, hey, I want to take her to the reunion like a week before. And so he put her on triple portions to make her gain weight so she wouldn't go out there thinking she was pretty. Those are the kind of fucked up psychological things that he does. Do the girls at the ranch have phones? No, they do not have phones. I think I might have already answered that. So no apps or anything like that. No, you cannot leave the ranch. When I was there, I think there was only one girl that had an off visit, a visit off property. And that was made to have, they were made to have that in a bed and breakfast in Humansville. I don't remember the name of the bed and breakfast, but literally like 6 miles down the way, they weren't even allowed to leave that area. I don't know if that's changed, but when I was there, that's the only the only one. A lot of the times my dad was trying everything in his power to make the girls lose their visits because he didn't want them to go on their visits. I don't know why, I can't speak for him, but that was his thing. He would purposely fuck their visits up. Where does everyone sleep? So they have this big building. It used to be a nursing home, and it's 10 bedrooms, 10 baths. I know they changed it around, but when I was there, it was 10 bedrooms, 10 baths. And they all slept upstairs, and each bedroom would go bedroom, bathroom, bedroom, bathroom. And so that's where the dorms were. I don't know now. I think that it might have changed. They might all still be upstairs, but when I was there, they were upstairs and I was downstairs. So how much of the day is the Bible learning? So the schooling we did was accelerated Christian education. It's all biblically based. So like when you're going through the paces, you have to learn Bible verses. So even when you're doing your schoolwork, you're learning, your time is still dedicated to the Bible. I remember not being able to, I talking to the sheriff's deputy today. He was like, yeah, I was at Agape and I was helping a student, and he like got all of his math questions right, but then because he got his Bible verse wrong, he was failed. And I was like, yes, that you had the Bible verse was the main the main points. If you got that wrong, you could yeah, you would fail. I failed so many times. I'm not gonna lie. And so if you're on the wall, your day is basically dedicated to reading the Bible. You have to stand on the wall and read the Bible. In the morning, you wake up, you have to say Bible verses before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When you're not doing anything, you were meant to be sitting down reading your Bible. I have read the Bible front to cover more than I can even count. So I'm not saying like I'm very smart when it comes to the Bible. I'm just saying I have read the Bible so many times. I can't even, the girls have probably beat me on that. Yeah. Did I ever have friends or allowed to? So like I said, I had friends at school, but my parents tried everything in their powers to keep me from having friends. So if I wasn't at school, I was basically locked up in my house, either cleaning or like basically cleaning or doing schoolwork. Like I said, no, my parents didn't want the outside world to have any effect on me, but that didn't work because obviously I didn't follow in their path. Okay. Do my parents live off the ranch? No, they do not live off the ranch. They have a couple of different properties. The one property that the girls are in is on like this side of the highway. Where they live is on the other side of the highway. So they do live on the property. Well, they live close to the property. It's not exactly the same property, but yes, they do live on the property. I think that was all of the questions I had in that, but let me see if there's any on here. I know I went there. Oh yeah, Psalms 19, Psalms 119. The longest Bible. Yeah. Hi guys. Okay, so do you remember the daily? I do not remember the daily schedule, but when I was there, I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to make breakfast. Mattison, sorry. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're out. I'm so glad that you're free. Your sister, when she messaged me on YouTube, that was like one of the best days ever. I'm so glad. Paces are terrible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into what I want to talk about. So basically, for the general public who keeps asking, like, what can they do to help? I mentioned earlier that I got a phone call from a Cedar County Sheriff's deputy telling me that there are sheriff's deputies in Cedar County that actually want to help get this place shut down. They've been trying, they have files on it, and they just haven't been able to do anything because they take it to the public attorney and then that's when it ends. So he gave me his information, and I have passed that on to not only the girls of Circle of Hope, but the people from Faith Children's Home and Agape Boarding School. For the general public, if there's anything, if you guys want to help, there is a petition on my TikTok that you can click and sign it. I will put it in my description on my YouTube, so you can sign it there if you're on my YouTube. The phone number for the Cedar County Sheriff's office is 417. I'll put this in the description too, or in the comments. It's 417-276-5133. And if you talk to Sheriff Lau, or that's who you should ask for, is Sheriff Lau. You can ask them what is going on with Circle of Hope. You can ask them if why they haven't moved on, or if they have any plans to move forward with this. I feel like the more people that do call, the more willing they are to help us. Also, people, if you guys would like to help Rachel, I do have her caseworker's number if you guys would like to contact her and ask her what's going on with this. Like I said, I feel like the more people that do, the better chance we have at helping Rachel. And I'll put her number in the description too, but it's 417-309-0651. Her name is Jamie. And if you want, you can call her and just ask her what's going on with Rachel. And I've called and left her a message, but I haven't heard back from her since. So I feel like if more people do, the better for it, or the better. Let's see. So I do have, I'll make a video later so maybe people can share it. But in 2007, Circle of Hope went and took half of their girls on a tour on the East Coast. So we went around singing songs to like a whole bunch of different churches. Well, while we were gone, two girls ran away. Aurora Espinoza and Judith Rivera. We have not heard from them since. The girls, as in any of the girls that went to them. Like, I haven't heard from them. My parents told me that she made it back to Mexico and was back with her dad. They said something along the lines because her dad was a drug dealer. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's what they said. She's back with her drug dealing dad. So I don't know where she is, but we all want to find her, and we want to know how she's doing, because sometimes when these girls leave, we're told that they're dead. They're with their drug dealing dad. They're like, the girl I ran away with, my mom and dad told me that she overdosed on meth. Come to find out, no, she didn't. I found her on Facebook, and she's actually not famous, but she's actually pretty well known. And so I hit her up. I was like, hey, did you run away with two girls from a boarding school in Missouri in 2007? And she's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, whatever happened to those girls? And I was like, well, that's me. And so like we've been talking ever since. I thought that was fucked up that they would tell us that she died. So that's why we want help finding Judith and Aurora, because one, I feel like they deserve the justice that we all deserve. Two, we want to have a reunion, basically. And yeah. So let's see. Oh yeah, so people keep asking about a documentary. There is not one yet, but I am currently working with a whole bunch of different like podcast and YouTube channels. I just did a Pieces of Victory YouTube interview, and that's up today, or already tonight. You can go watch that if you would like. Again, that's Pieces of Victory. And then her name is Janine Miller. She went to another IFB school, but in Ramona, California. And her schools are actually sister schools to the schools I went through. She went to Victory. And then there's one in Florida called like Lighthouse. And then there's just a whole bunch of them. There's like Camp Tracy. the school Faith I went to, my parents' school, these schools are all Lester Roloff. Lester Roloff is the reason why these schools exist. I know there's like Synanon and stuff. Like, well, I go into I do a YouTube with We've Read the Documents, and we kind of go into like Synanon, which is another part of the troubled teen industry. All this stuff still blows my mind. So if anyone has any more like information and details on this, it would be awesome to hear from you. Because like I said, all of this is like blowing my mind. I know like Lester Roloff has his ties in with WASP. But if anyone has any information on that would be awesome to hear. No, Synanon is the reason why most of these schools were actually spawned. And they, like, if you look them up, they are the most dangerous cult in America. I guess just look them up. Seriously, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to be like saying things that are wrong because I'm still not like as educated in it. But that shit's crazy, especially from the stuff I've heard. Like, it's just mind blowing how it's mind blowing how connected all this stuff is. Like, even for me growing up in it, my mind is just blown. So I don't know if anyone watching, if any one of you guys are an artist, but we are wanting to get shirts out with Rachael's face on it and the hashtag Where is Rachel Kelso. If anybody is willing to help us with that, if you have any expertise in this area, if you could contact me, you can contact me at mycircleoftruth@gmail.com. That would be awesome because I've already seen people are changing their profile pictures to Rachael's face, and that is so amazing. And so I just want to get her face out there more. She deserves this. She deserves to be free. She deserves to be happy. And it makes me so happy that other people are interested in her and are willing to help our cause because of Rachael. And I know it's not just Rachael, the other girls too, but Rachael is, I don't know. This is just so amazing to me. Let's see. Is there any other question? Because I think I went over everything that I wanted to go over. If there's any more questions, could you guys ask? What if they are trafficked? What do you mean if they're trafficked? Are you talking to me or is that to someone else? So someone called Circle of Hope today, actually, and they said that it just went to not an automated voice message, but it just went to a thing saying they're not open due to COVID-19. But they also said they found a different number. Those are in the comments. I didn't get the number. I didn't write the number down. I don't know. I know I can't call because if I call, I'm their daughter. They know my voice, so I can't call. But I've wondered. I know they're really when I was there, I was the one who answered the phone and I would have to take a message and then they would pick and choose who they called back. So I don't know if that's what they still do or not. They are a fundamental Baptist religion. So, yeah, they're independent fundamental Baptists. And it's really weird when the independent fundamental Baptists start preaching on what it's like to be an independent fundamental Baptist, because boy, does that church service get like really loud and they jump on pews and like stomp the devil out. I don't know. It's really crazy. They are very extreme. What would happen if, okay, you already asked that. Are there any other questions? Okay, Barbie Bay, I'll message you later to see. Is there a link I can repost to get this case attention? There is a link in my TikTok description for the petition. You can go ahead and like post that. I've seen people have been posting the TikToks, which is really awesome. I really want Rachael's TikTok, the one that's not my 10-finger TikTok, but the one that's specifically for Rachael. I want that one to go viral because she's the one that we're trying to help right now. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't say that necessarily like the church was terrible, but it wouldn't I would have never chosen to go to that as a child. I would have wanted to stay home. My parents are still alive. Yes, they are still alive. I don't know if I'm in danger. I don't know if my parents are searching for me. I know when I was talking to Travis Hitchcock, he told me that I needed to be super careful. And he's like, if anyone tries to message you, he's like, just call me. So I know my dad talks a lot of shit. Like when I say a lot of shit, like he's like, I can find whoever, but I don't know if he actually is. I'm not going to like assume. I think I'm safe. um, When's the last time you've me? I think it was 2015. Right after it was like right after I had my second son. Um, I basically got a message from a girl who is from the Ukraine. Her parents adopted her out of the Ukraine. And she told me that my mom and dad kicked her out with only like teddy bear and a skirt and made her walk into town. And like I said earlier, the town is 6 miles out. And so thankfully, two people picked her up and helped her, gave her food, kept her there for like 2 weeks, and then got her a plane or a bus ticket back to, I think she lived in Georgia. So I think they got her a bus ticket to Georgia. Yes, the school is still up and running. There's rumor, I can't say this is true, but there's rumors that they're going to be giving the school over to one of the ex-students. That is now when she got there, she started dating my younger brother. And so from the moment she got there, she had privileges. She's basically been their secretary ever since. And I've heard that they're going to be handing the school over to her. I'm not sure how true that is. That's just what I was told. That could be because they know that stuff is happening. And they're trying to like just get it out of their name. I don't know. It was pretty fucked up when I heard that because she's, I think, 20. No one has ever died at this school. No. There are other schools that kids have died. There was a kid who just died in Kalamazoo. Aaron Bacon is another one. And I don't want to butcher the other kid's name, but he was a 13-year-old. I want to say Lee Martin, but I get his name mixed up with Trayvon Martin. So I don't remember if it was Lee Martin. He was a 13-year-old boy who was sent to the school, and he died on the first day. And that was in Florida, I think in 2006. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's going to Brandy. And from what I've heard from the other girls, that's not necessarily a good thing because Brandy is pretty abusive too. So yeah, it's not going to end here. If it does get handed over to her, it's not going to end here because this is a troubled teen industry issue. This isn't just a Circle of Hope issue. This is, off the top of my head, I can think of, well, there was one in Melbourne. There was Faith Children's Home. Camp Tracy was one that they always told us that we were lucky we didn't get sent to because they would handcuff their kids to the bed. Lighthouse was another one that they would do stuff like that. Victory, Circle of Hope, Agape, Masters Ranch. Another one just opened up. I can't remember its name, but he's also an ex-staff member of Agape. Wings of Faith. There was one in Oklahoma. My brother got threatened. He was going to get sent to Kentucky. There's another Agape staff member started one in Kentucky. There's a lot of these schools. It's not just Circle of Hope. And so once we're done here, once we get help with Circle of Hope, I'm not done. And I know the girls that survive Circle of Hope are also in for the long haul too. You almost got sent to Lighthouse? Dude, I'm so glad you didn't. I've heard story. I got threatened with going to Lighthouse, and I just remember, like, when they threatened me, I was just like, okay, I am the perfect little Christian. I'm going to go get saved now. And because of the stories I heard, I did not want to go to Lighthouse. That place was, I know Circle of Hope was messed up, but from what I've heard, Lighthouse was pretty fucked up. So, yeah, it's definitely a widespread in her. Oh man, I'm sorry she went to one. It's insane that kids get sent to these places because uh I know that there are kids that need help, but abusing kids is not help. That's not help. Like parents are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for help for their kids, and their kids are literally just getting abused. Um Are they still accepting students? Right now, during the COVID-19, they are not accepting students, but I don't know when they will be. Um, honestly, it's not your mom's fault if she did. It's not parents' fault. Anyone who has sent their kids there, it's not their fault. They are so good, um, so good at making people feel that um, it's a good place, but it's not. So your mom shouldn't feel bad, even if she did. It's not the public who doesn't know's fault. It's who knows fault, if that makes sense. Um, let's see. I am gonna offer. I am gonna offer online emotional help free. Oh my goodness, that would be awesome. Especially a lot of these people or kids that are currently leaving. They need help. Like I said, the one girl, she got kicked out, and she went through a lot of shit. Thankfully, she's gotten her life back, and she has 2 kids now, but she's going into the military, and she's going to be the best mom ever. Obviously, I can tell that now because she's trying everything she can to make a life better for her kids. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I was gonna say they don't usually like Circle of Hope doesn't take state. Usually they don't take state kids because then the state would have to step in and make sure the place is okay. And that's one reason why they don't want any state support is because it's a if they start taking states for the support from the state, then the state can come in and say, hey, we're going to be looking this up. I totally forgot to mention this. Like, I don't know why. There is a court date in July for Circle of Hope. Circle of Hope decided to go ahead and sue DSS for some reason. I don't know why exactly. But in 2018, I got an email from the lawyer, DSS's lawyer, asking me if I had any evidence to anything. And so I sent over everything I had, every like screenshot of girls messaging me, like my father raped them, my brother, all of this stuff. I just sent it all over to him. And they have a court date in July. And then I think they also have a court date in August for that one too. You know, I saw that escaping polygamy thing, and I wanted to reach out to them. I've reached out to so many people. I've reached out to ABC. ABC, if you look up ABC Tough Love, they did an episode, and my parents' school is in that, but they refused to go on, so ABC couldn't actually put footage in that. So they just wrote a little article down at the bottom, but that's actually, yeah. So I've reached out to a lot of people. So I'm just like, I keep getting turned down. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. That's why I went here. Have you been restrained? No, I have not been restrained. I was lucky enough to not get restrained. I have been, when my dad would beat me, I flailed. I could not sit still. Like I would jump around, and like our beatings went on for a long time, to the point my mom would have to sit on me. My mom would sit on me while my dad spanked me. I am not in touch with anyone from the school. I was talking to my brother for a little bit, but that. We're not talking like all the time or anything like that. I do talk to my older brother Nate, but he has no contact with the school. The school is in Humansville, Missouri. Yeah, no, even the state approved facilities are awful, especially now that I like have been talking to people who went to the state run facilities. None of to me, none of them are different. They're all corrupt, but okay, let's see. Sorry, if I don't get any of yours questions answered, I can't. My parents started Circle of Hope because of they were working at Agape, and they so this is what they said. They said that Agape was becoming too nice, and so they were leaving Agape. But now, like doing like my own investigation, I think they were leaving Agape because the person that was taking over my dad didn't like. So why was I not restrained? Because I got beat. My dad would take a golf club to me. He would physically like beat me. He would punch me. He would push me into toilets. He would pick me up by the neck and throw me. I got physically manhandled. I know the girls did too, but like I got like I'm not saying it was better or worse. It was different. My abuse was different. I was his child, so he treated me differently. If someone is watching now, what is something they can do to help? Well, they can call. I'm going to post all this stuff, but they can call the sheriff's deputy in Cedar County, Sheriff Lau, sorry. And the phone number again is 417-276-5133. Also, if you want to contact Rachael's caseworker, her name is Jamie, and her phone number is 417-309-0651. Well, okay, so with the whole parents thing, it's pretty fucked up. So, they a lot of the times they try to break the relationship between the parent and the child. When I say they break it, like there was one girl who was forced to write a letter to her mom saying she wanted nothing more to do with her mom because her mom was worldly and wore pants. So when she left, she had no one. She didn't have her mom. She got married to my brother, so she had my brother. But besides that, she had no one. Her mom didn't want to talk to her. There was another girl, the same thing. Her parents, my mom and dad would talk shit to me about her parents all the time. And this girl, she was one of the first girls that we got. She was 12 when we got her. And my mom would constantly tell her how her mom didn't love her because she was the oldest of the adopted kids, and she only loved the little ones. And if she did love her, then she wouldn't be at Circle of Hope. It's things like that they do. So they do get to talk to the parents, but a lot of the time they destroy the relationship with the parents. So when the girls leave, they have no one. A lot of the times I was getting messages from girls that were homeless, and like I went homeless a couple of times because of this, and my parents wouldn't help me. So it was really heart-wrenching to find out that they were doing it to other people's kids, not just their own kids. For me, I was raised in the religion, so I had such a strong I just did not want to go back. There was something in me that just did not want to go back. So I did whatever I could within my power to not go back. Which for me, that was fine. But I wouldn't want any other person to have to do what I did to just survive. Especially young. Like I know I was a young kid too, but I'm an adult now, and just looking back and seeing that they're doing this to young kids, it's fucked up. And no young kid should go homeless because my parents fucked them up and fucked their relationship up with their family. I know 3 girls that still don't talk to their family because of the what my parents did. So have you had? Yes, I have. That was one of the things that that destroyed me. I stopped. So they would call Restraint, and all of us would have to come running. Well, when they would call Restraint, I would just run into the kitchen and say I had to go make dinner or something like that. I would come up with an excuse to not do it. That was they ended up doing sorry, I just spilled my water. They ended up doing restraining classes. So my dad would teach you how to restrain people properly. And so even if you didn't do something wrong, you were still going to get restrained because he had to teach you how to push the pressure points on the girl to so you knew how it felt so you could get it correctly. Like I said, I was in charge of the kitchen at that time, so I was lucky enough to bail out of it. Hold on one second. Yes, I've called the cops on them a couple of times. I'm also currently working with the cops right now. Are you worried that my parents might go to jail? Honestly, it's not. I didn't make these choices. My parents are making these choices. Growing up, we were always taught you are getting punished for what you did. This this is tough love. I have talked to my mom. I have told my mom how I felt, and she told me that she wouldn't change it for anything. So that was another one of the main reasons that made me stop talking to my parents. No, this is on them. This isn't on me. If they go to jail, that's not my fault. They did this, not me. It doesn't make me sad that he might go to jail. They might go to jail, but like I said, that's on them. I have six siblings. Well, there's six total. It's my older brother, my older sister, my other older brother, my other older brother, myself, and then my younger brother. So six total. Yeah, six siblings total. My dad was married once before to a different lady, and he had three kids. So it would be my older brother, my sister, and then my other older brother from the three. Those three kids were his first. My mom had a son with someone else, and that would be my best friend right now. Not right now, my best friend growing up and now. And then myself and my younger brother are my mom's and my dad's. Who picked up and said, "Hello, are you in danger?" and then hung up? I'm sorry, I might have missed some like message or some pop, but I didn't see that. You have 9 siblings? Wow. Yeah, no, I thought I had a lot of siblings. Growing like my older sibling he's way older, so he wasn't in the house with us. But my sister moved in with us in 1998 and she ended up passing away that same year. But my one of my older brothers, we'll just say my older brother C, he lived with us and he got special treatment because he had a different mom, and so he was allowed to play games like video games. He was allowed to watch movies. He was allowed to do a lot of things that we weren't allowed to do because he had a different mom, and my dad was afraid that she would take him away. Are you talking about that you called Circle of Hope and they hung up and they asked you if you were okay? Thank you. I only knew her for a little bit. I didn't even know I had a sister because she ran away when I was 6, or she ran away when she was 16. So, I only knew her for a little bit, but she ran away for the same reasons. Am I embarrassed to say my mom and dad? No, I am weirded out because I don't want people to think that I still think that they are great people. I want people to know that I don't hate my parents. I love them. But when you love someone, you want what's best for them. What's best for them is not what they are doing right now. Unfortunately, I'm having to be the parent and step in and say what you are doing is wrong and get them help. I'm not embarrassed. I am a little nervous because I don't want people to not trust me. I want them to know that I am on their side and I want to help them. I'm not on my parents' side, if that makes sense, because a lot of the times when I messaged a couple of parents that were I forget where I got their information, but I found them. And so I messaged them saying, "Hey, I have a couple of questions. they're like, well, how do you know Circle of Hope? And I'm like, well, I just want to let you know that I am the daughter. And a couple of them, it took them a while to respond to me, which is totally normal. But no, I'm not embarrassed to say mom and dad. When I wasn't afraid that they would come take me back, because at that point in time, I would have fought and like ran and um, like I said, I went homeless a couple of times. I refused to go back to my parents. My brothers all went back and stayed with my parents for a while after they left because they couldn't make it, but I refused. I went homeless in Long Beach. I went in, homeless in Huntington Beach. I went homeless in San Diego. I've been homeless so many times, and that was so much better than growing up the way I was raised. Um, I didn't talk to my parents for about 2 years after that, after I left. So I don't, I think that was another reason why I wasn't afraid that they would come get me, because they didn't even know. Um, the night that I, I went and moved in with my friend Amy's boyfriend at the time, and she was in she was in boot camp for the army. And I moved in with him, and my dumbass decided to randomly meet some guy off of the fucking internet. And so I like went to Arizona without telling he was like a brother to me, but my friend Amy's boyfriend, that I was leaving. And so when I got back, he's like, no, you can't do this. He's like, you can't just leave my house and blah, blah, blah. So he like kicked me out, and I ended up staying on the street. Horrible shit happened that night. And I ended up in the hospital. I ended up in the hospital, and I called my mom because I was pretty beaten up. But anyways, I called my mom and I was like, hey, can you, I used the hospital phone. I was like, can you please turn my cell phone back on? This was like a year and a half after not talking to them. I was like, can you please turn my cell phone on? I was like, I'm homeless right now. I just need something. So if I need to call 911, I can call 911. And she's like, no, she's like, call your brother and see if he can help you. So I called my brother, and he ended up flying me out to North Carolina. So like, thankfully I had my brother's help. I'm trying to spread awareness, everyone. Thank you, Ellie. Is it Ellie or Ellie Stanley? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. My siblings, what do they think of my parents? So my oldest brother, he doesn't, I mean, he talks to my parents, but he doesn't really talk to my parents. He talks to them every once in a while, and I think that's just because it's my dad, and he still keeps in contact with my dad, but it's not like they talk all the time. I talk to his wife every once in a while, and she told me that my older brother has never gone into the abuse that he went in, like that he received. But I spoke with one of my older, not this brother, but the other older brother's exes, and she said that he went into the abuse that he received from my dad and his mom a lot. And she's like, so she knew that what I went through was real. But both of them still kind of talk. My one brother, who is the youngest of the first marriage, he still talks to my parents. Like he would get me in trouble when I was younger. He would be like, hey, Amanda, we should go do this. And then like, we'd go do this. Like we would go hunting and stuff like that. And then we would get home, and dad would be like, well, why'd you go? Like, you didn't ask me. And I'm like, well, Cliff told me to go. And Cliff's like, no, I didn't. And all this stuff. And I said his name. Oh, well, fuck. Anyways, he said, he would get me in trouble a lot. He's a big fucking kiss up to my parents. My younger brother, yes, he still talks to my parents. That situation pisses me off, because I tried my hardest. To get him out. I wanted him to come move in with me. But my parents found out that he was talking to me, and so they blocked me off of his Facebook and Twitter, and told him I wanted nothing to do with him and all this other stuff. So he ended up staying, and that's just a whole fucked up situation. Let's see. Is there any? Yeah, honestly, I can't say that it is all my mom, but a lot of those reviews I do feel like is my mom speaking. Um, do I have kids? I do. I have two boys, an 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, Atticus and Radley. I read the reviews. Yeah, weird. Yes, he's been groomed, and I don't know. It makes me sad because I was 9. I was 9 when he was born, and my mom did not raise him. I was the one getting up in the middle of the night making his formula bottles. I was the one changing his diapers when my mom slept. I was the one because this was at Hope Children's Home at the time, and we it was like a big campus. I was the one taking him from our apartment to his daycare. I was 9. I was his mom. I was the one giving him his baths. My brother was the one bathing him. It wasn't my mom. Um, and for her to fuck him up like this is it makes me sad. It makes me so sad. The number you called was for a 24-hour crisis intervention, so I think that's why they asked. Oh. Why do people no one wants I don't think anyone wants to go there except parents are really like one mom who sent her daughter there. She only got sent there because her family was has a is a like has a line of alcoholics, and so her mom sent her to the school because she was afraid that that would happen for her daughter, and she honestly thought she was getting her daughter help. She honestly thought she was going to get her daughter help. I don't think if parents really knew what was going on here, I don't think they would actually send their parent or their kids there. My youngest brother is now 21. Well, he'll be 21. He is now 20. I have not heard of Marvelous Girls Academy in Pensacola. So there was a school in Pensacola that we would go to all the time when we were at Hope, and because they would throw us a huge Easter party. I don't know if it was a girls' academy, but I think it was a Catholic school. Um, it was a Catholic prep school, and I kind of wondered if there were like stories there. I don't know if it's the same one. I kind of wonder. Yeah, no, we need a lot of like okay, so but the thing is like with my dad, he doesn't have like any like bad background. Like there's nothing on his record. So even if you did a background check, there wouldn't be anything. Um yeah, there wouldn't be anything. Um I'm just basically giving updates about the abusive boarding school my parents sent not my parents sent me to, but the abusive boarding school my parents work at. If you have any questions I can answer. Hold on. I do have an Instagram. It's just Berlin Von Mortis. So let's see. How do we help them? So I'll go ahead and say it again. There's a petition on my TikTok that you can sign. That would be very helpful. I have the phone number. I'm going to post all of this later again. So everyone, if you didn't write it down, it will be up. The sheriff's phone number, you can contact them and ask them what they're planning on doing about Circle of Hope. It's 417 276 5133. When you say formal complaints, do you mean like within the police station? Like a lot of the girls have already gone to the police station and made formal complaints. I went to San Bernardino County's police station here and made a complaint in 2018. So I don't know what else we can do. Have I contacted any celebrities? Yeah, actually, strange. I actually contacted uh, Paris Hilton liked my video a while ago, the one about my dad saying knock her out, knock her out. And I contacted her just through her phone, like the phone number that she has on her YouTube, but I haven't heard anything back. And that's not anything on her. I wasn't expecting to hear anything back, but she liked the video, so I was like thinking maybe she would be willing to like at least hear me out a little bit. I thought that was so cool. um, Oh, by any parents, yes. The one parent that I was talking about earlier, there was like 3 parents that I know of that have made formal complaints. She went all the way up to like the FBI. If you go to heal.org, you can see all of the information that she like dug up on them and put up there, like the letters my dad wrote her, just a whole bunch of different weird things. But yeah, no, they definitely, there have been parents that have spread the word, or not spread the word, that have made formal complaints. Are there any other questions, maybe? I am not there to say that I have seen them still do harsh things to girls, but I do still get messages from a whole bunch of different people telling me that they are still doing the harsh punishments. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just trying to. But like I said, I'm not there, so I can't say yes, they're doing that. But from what I'm hearing, yes, they're still doing that. Like, I found out that Rachel went to DSS and told them about the dark room, and she was punished for it. The girl refused to tell me what happened to her, but she was punished for speaking out against the dark room. So. Yes, there are schools like this in Florida. My parents worked at one called Hope Children's Home now, but it was called Faith Children's Home. If you Google it, you can go see all the different stories of abuse on there. Honestly, when I was there, I didn't witness a lot of it because the way they would do it there was more secretive. Like they would spank girls or spank the kids behind closed doors, or like I think we left when I was 9, so like I was usually like I said, in my house, locked away, cleaning. But I have friends from there that have told me the harsh things that they had to do. And it's pretty horrible. That's in Tampa, Florida. Yeah. There's one in Melbourne that school is also affiliated with. I forget what the name of that school is, but yeah, I ran away with 2 girls. But that was in 2009. Since then, I haven't really I want to do this legal. I don't want to, I want them to get shut down legally. I don't want to harm anything. I don't know, to be honest, with why. I just know that before my sister died, we were struggling really hard, really badly for money. And so I think because we worked at the schools, and the schools, when we worked at the schools, they were only paying, like Agape only paid my parents $100 a month, or a week, sorry. So like they didn't get paid a lot. So I think that's probably why they were like, well, fuck this. It's not making money, so we should start our own school. But I can't say that for sure, because they always told us, oh, it's to help the girls. It's to help the girls. Well, they're not helping the girls at all. Yeah, I don't know about IFB in Michigan, but the one boy was just from Kalamazoo. He was restrained and he died, and that's in Michigan. What time is it? Let's see. Are there any other questions? Yeah, so Yelp, I had to make a completely new Yelp because Yelp kept removing my account because I would put up my review, and because I was their daughter, they said that I couldn't review on Yelp. But my thing was, I emailed them and I was like, well, abuse is abuse, whether or not I'm their daughter. My abuse is still valid, and this is a boarding school that is running girls and abusing the girls the way they abused me. And so they put it back up, and then my parents flagged it again, or I can't say my parents, someone flagged it again. And my thing was, I got an email from them saying if I put up another review, they were going to take my account again. And so that's where I get confused. I think that's where my brainwashing comes in still. I don't know if they think they're still helping. I feel like this is where I get torn. I don't think that they do know they're helping. I think that they know what they're doing is wrong, because if if they thought what they were doing was right, I feel like they would have gone on Dr. Phil and defended it. But part of them knows what's going on is wrong because they're having us hide the girls from CPS while I was there. They wouldn't let us talk to anyone. The one time I did speak up while they had Circle of Hope, I got in trouble, and a lot of trouble within the church. But my parents are in Humansville, Missouri. Yeah. Oh yeah, my parents definitely know. They someone posted the TikTok video, I think, to Yelp, or was it I think it was Yelp's. I think it was Yelp, and it was removed like last night or something like that. And I sent the screenshot to Chanel, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Well, if we didn't think that they knew about TikTok, now they do know because someone actually posted the TikTok." Um, yeah, I am. Yeah. So from what I'm hearing now, let's just get real, okay? I was raised racist. I was raised. Um, my dad would always say the N word. My dad. I didn't know. I didn't know I was racist until I got older and getting out of it and growing, like being out in the real world. I had a lot of apologizing to do to every single person um, that was not white because of the way I was raised. So, which I went through all the people that I grew up with at Hope, and I messaged them, and I was like, hey, because um, I was 8 throwing around the N word. I mean, come on, like that's not okay. It seriously is not okay. Um, we were um, we were raised to idolize our family members, and our family members have really deep connections to the Confederate Army and stuff like that. And so it was just really weird coming out and realizing that I was racist. And it wasn't that I was racist willingly, it was just I was racist because I was hanging around racist. Um, the girls that are black within the school, I remember we got one black girl when I was there, and her name was Kimberly. And before she got there, my dad, not in front of the girls, but before she got there, my dad called her the N word. And when she got there and he met her and she went down the hall, he's all like, she's not, she's white because she was raised by two white people. But yeah, they from what I'm hearing, the girls that are black there are being it's not said to their faces, but the guy that went there, my dad's like, yeah, she's my little enslaved, she's my little this, and she's my little like that. And so like there's a lot of racism within the school. I don't know if you should go investigate this place because I don't know how well that would do. Yeah. I'm not with my parents because I was kicked out. Um, yes. Why does Stephen Blankenship, is he from Kentucky? Is that where, oh, why does that sound familiar? Is it Kentucky? Why does Stephen Blankenship? I don't know. The whole CIA connection. I don't know. Like all of this is for me. Like I knew all of this stuff growing up because like my dad would brag about it, but I didn't know like the connection, like Ronald Reagan's connections to the troubled teen until just recently, and I was on that podcast, or not podcast, the YouTube channel, and they were talking about it, and that was just mind blowing to me because I didn't. I that's yeah. That's another thing that just blows my mind. Um, Santa Rosa, Florida. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, Stephen Blankenship sounds familiar. So we would, when we were in Florida, we would go around singing tours, and we might have gone to his church or something like that, or another school like that. But that sounds so familiar. Um, yeah. I don't know what would have happened to me, but I know I asked my mom when I was 8 or 9 if because I saw a picture when my sister was living with us, I saw a picture of her drinking beer with a guy who was black, and I asked my mom, like I said, I was raised around racist people, and I'm terribly sorry for this, but I asked my mom if it was a sin to marry a black person, and she said yes. So I don't know. I really don't know what would have happened if I asked why. I just know that we weren't supposed to mix races, apparently. Well, thank you. I don't know how I honestly, if it weren't for all these girls, I don't think I would have been able to come forward. Um, so yes, I do consider the Amish a cult because we were living right by the Amish, and a lot of the stuff I learned, like cooking and cleaning, or not cooking and cleaning, but like making pies. I can bake anything I want to because I learned from the Amish. And when I was there, I became really good friends with a lot of the Amish kids. And actually, one of my friends, he decided not to be Amish anymore, and so they shunned him. And instead of like moving away from the state, he decided to buy the house across his parents and live there. But yeah, I do consider them a cult too. Um, so that's the only Circle of Hope boarding school I know of, but there's like a whole bunch of different types of Circle of Hope. There's like a Circle of Hope cancer survivor page, which is not the same as this, but would I ever date a black guy? Well, I'm I'm married now, so but if it ever got to the point of me dating, yeah, I would totally date a black guy. Yes, I was raised homophobic. I was honestly first lesbian girl I ever met. Her name was I'm not going to say her name, but I was frightened to fucking hell that she wanted to rape me because that's how we were raised. Um, now not anymore. I'm not homophobic anymore. It was weird getting out of Circle of Hope because I started hanging out with a lot of my friends who were either bisexual or a lesbian or gay, and so it was weird that when I started hanging out with a whole bunch of people like that, it was just weird seeing that they weren't evil and they weren't at all what my parents thought what I was told they were. They're just human, and honestly, they are probably the most down to earth human I've ever met. All of my friends that are actually, I don't think I have very many friends that are straight, anyways, because they suck. Yeah, I believe the same thing about Mormonism and Scientology. I didn't know Scientology had a lot of these schools out until like 3 to 4 years ago. It was weird to me. Um, yeah, no, this isn't the same Circle of Hope, not the one in Massachusetts. This is in Humansville, Missouri. I don't know what the one in Massachusetts is. Don't go at all. You won't be closer to God. I mean, you might get closer to God because they might kill you. But sorry, that was just a really bad joke. Um, yeah, let's see. Are there any other questions by any chance? Um, I don't think I have anything else to go over. Let me check my notes really fast. Yeah, I don't have anything else. So they are supposed to help you at Circle of Hope, but that's not what they're doing. They're not helping you. They are. No, I'm not in contact with my parents. I haven't talked to them in a while. You can't believe I said that they might kill you, Amanda. Sorry. I got kicked out. So I got kicked out mainly because the final straw was I told a 5-year-old girl that her parents weren't going to hell. If her parents were going to, or if her mom was going to hell for wearing pants, then my dad's sister, my dad's mom, and my sister would currently be in hell today because they're all dead. And so I got kicked. That was the last straw. They kicked me out after that. At that point in time, I was talking to other people because, or not other people, I was talking to guys because I was trying to get out and I wanted them to come get me and get, like, I wanted to live with them because I didn't know my grandma would take me in because I had called my grandma when I ran away and she sent me back. And so, yeah, I got kicked. That was the wearing the telling her that she wouldn't go to hell was for, that was my final straw and they kicked me out. Yes, my kids do know about this because my oldest son did meet my parents when he was a year and a half old, and my oldest son has been very, 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 very aware since he was born, and so he remembers them. And he asked me why we don't talk to them anymore. So I told him I explained to him that sometimes there are people that we love that do bad things and we just can't associate with them anymore. But that doesn't mean we don't love them. And that doesn't mean that we don't want what's best for them, even if what's best for them is jail. Yeah, so they do know, but what did they say when they met him? It was really weird. Because at that point I hadn't talked to my parents in 4 years. And when I found out I was pregnant, I called my mom. I was scared. And so I wanted my mom to be there when I gave birth because that was fucking frightening. And honestly, it was the most love I have ever felt from my family. And it's kind of fucked up because it took me having kids for them to even like to even want anything to do with me. I found out that they're helping one of the girls. Like, they're going to help her get married. They're going to help her with her honeymoon and all that stuff. They couldn't even help me when I was basically getting beaten up on the side of the road in California. They couldn't even help me. So it was definitely I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. The feelings we had, like I had during that time, was not real feelings. It was me forcing something that I probably should have never forced because it caused more damage to me than it should have. But everything happens for a reason, and I don't know. I love Ready to Glare. I do. I love her so much. I just haven't had the like I've said, I've been turned down by people so many times. I haven't had the guts to like hit people up that I like actually like really like. She's like one of my favorite YouTubers. um well, thank you guys for telling me. Thank you. I feel awkward like here reading all that stuff, but honestly, thank you guys. It means a lot because I don't have the support from my family, obviously. um, so, so just it means a lot having everyone else's support. And thank you guys. Oh, why? Brainwashed. I was still brainwashed. I can't explain it other than even though within my gut I knew it was wrong, I was they were my parents. I still cared about them. My dad's really, really good at guilt tripping people. Um, so uh, he, the one time I got really, like, really severely beaten at Agape, to the point that my friend at Agape, like, saw it before, like, for weeks I could feel the heat coming off my bruises. He, found out that what I got beaten for wasn't true. And so he did come to me and apologize to me, and like he made me feel guilty for it. He made me feel guilty, and he's really good at those guilt trips. So I think that was part of the reason is I was always a daddy's little girl when I was little, even though like all the abuse that went on. I was always a daddy's little girl. He would take me before he got religious. He would take me on his bread runs because he worked for a bread maker. And my mama would get so pissed off at him for this, but he would give me tobacco chew. And I would be sitting there chewing on tobacco as a 2-year-old, spitting into a can. So it was things like that, like memories that I held on to. Like I was always a daddy's little girl, and now, yeah. I escaped. I didn't escape really. I was kicked out. My parents kicked me out when I was 17. Oh, don't be sorry, honestly. Everything happens for a reason, and I guess the reason is to help end the troubled teen industry, hopefully. Um, yeah, it took me having kids to realize that the way I was raised was definitely fucked up, and that it shouldn't continue for any kids. So, yeah, so my parents run Circle of Hope Girls Ranch and Boarding School in Humansville, Missouri. And at that school, the girls are physically, mentally, and religiously, and sometimes even sexually abused there. And so basically, we're just trying to expose Circle of Hope to save Rachel and all the girls that are there. Rachel has been at Circle of Hope for the past 15 years. And if we don't help her, she will be there for the rest of her life. If not there, we have heard that she is supposed to be being moved. I don't know if she's moving to a different facility or if her parents are taking her out. And that's what scares me. If they do move her to a different facility, we're not going to end here. Sorry. We are going to we're going to find her. We're going to make sure she's safe. We're going to make sure she's happy and healthy and living the best life she can live. Yes, there are girls that are being sexually abused there. Um, some of them he waits until they're 18, and then some of them they are underage. So they go off of they believe they're Christian, but they believe they're the one true Christian, and no one else is Christian, and everything else is evil, and blah blah blah, and blah, blah. Yeah. So I'm not saying all Christians are evil. Obviously, I have so many friends that I love that are Christian. So this isn't a religious thing for me. This is a people using religion to abuse kids and hide behind. Um, it needs to end. It made me so happy, like jumping on my feed and seeing all the Christians jump on and denounce it. I know there was like a huge religious debate going on there, and I hope no one got offended by anyone debating them. But for me, I want you guys to know that this isn't a thing about this is a Christian thing or this is a Muslim or this is this. This is just humans using religion to abuse kids and hide behind, because I have gone to pastor after pastor after pastor, and no one's ever wanted to help. And so it was just amazing seeing all these Christians jump on and say, no, that's not my God. My God is love. My God is this. My God is that. So, oh, Bill Gothard. Yeah, I know Bill Gothard. You said, wait, my father. I'm sorry. What do you mean, wait, my father? The girls slept upstairs. I had my own room. At one point, my room was connected to the girls, but after I ran away, I was made to move downstairs. Yes, my dad shamed girls for her weight all the time. Girls for their weight all the time. There was one girl who he tried making her gain weight because she was really pretty, and she knew she was really pretty, and he didn't want her to know that. And so he made her gain weight, and then he would call her chubby and fatty and weird things like that. Yes, my mom did these things too. My mom is just as bad as my dad. Honestly, my mom is basically the brains behind the establishment, because my dad isn't he doesn't have the brain power enough to come up with this stuff. But my mom is an abuser just as bad as my dad is. I am into conspiracy theories, but I had to stop a while ago because I went down a really long like rabbit hole, and it was just um with the cult systems and stuff like that. So I had to stop because it took a lot of my time. Yes, they do practice food restriction, and red shirts are higher up shirts. Sorry, guys. They do get paid by the parents. They've been working in these schools since the 90s. What got them working in the schools was a school came and started singing at the school. And my mom and dad had just gotten, my grandma had called CPS on my mom and dad, and we were living with her. And so they were like, well, we're moving. And so we moved and started working at these schools. Yeah, so J Queen says, when I spoke up, your mom got into my face and was going to restrain me, and I told her to back the F up. Are you talking? Can I say what you're talking about? Because I don't want to just say it up here without your permission, J. Yes, I have 2 kids. Okay, so Jean Queen, she was one of the girls that was sexually molested by my dad. And when she spoke up to my mom basically got in her face and was going to restrain her. And that's when Carly was like, back the fuck up. See, I wish I had that gut. Like, I wish I had those guts. I was never brave enough to stick up to them when I was there. I know my dad dislocated my shoulder once because he was putting me in like a chokehold, and I popped it out of place and just like basically melted like to where I could get out of it. But yeah. Yeah, I have the guts now. Better late than never, yes. Um, yeah, I know my dad was born in 1949 and he was raised on this type of stuff too. I'm not giving him an excuse. He is a product of his time, but he definitely, like, especially after his children have grown up and at least 2 of them have told him what you're doing is wrong, he should at least, like, realize it. No, they are not in prison. Not yet. Um, So right now there's 33 girls, and last night, that's funny that you asked that. Last night, we started counting. I think there was 11 girls that have run away. 2 of them we haven't found, which we're trying to find. I remember Emily Lee was. She messages me every once in a while, but she constantly changes her number. So I'm like, is it? I'm always like, are you Emily? All right. Let's see. Yes, they do punish you in the heat. I did an interview with Pieces of Victory, and I go into it a little bit. But Rachel Kelso was one of the girls that was put in push-up position. Um, she would have breaks, but all day. So like they would be working outside, and she was in push-up position, and she'd stay in push-up position until they would move. And if they would move, she would have to get up and walk, and then get back into push-up position. So she was in there for a really long time outside in the heat. Um, I don't know if any of you guys know what chiggers are, but girls' legs were covered in chiggers, their arms were covered in chiggers, and it was fucking insane. I had chiggers too. Yes, they do sleep deprive you. You're not allowed if you're yes, they sleep deprive you. It's a school, but it's a old nursing home that was converted into a boarding school. When I was there, I would have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and make breakfast, and the girls were waking up at 5:30 to go do all of their chores. And then when it was Sunday, we were originally allowed to sleep on the way to church because I mean, come on, that was like an hour of nothing. But then it changed from not from being allowed to sleep to having to read your Bible on the way to church. Like I wasn't even allowed to take a nap in the bus either. It was one of the hardest things ever. Yes, manual labor is what they do all the time. The fences that were all built that are on the property, the girls did that. The garden that's there, the girls do all that work. Basically, I don't know if you've heard of Agape Boarding School. Agape Boarding School uses their boys to build the property. That's what Circle of Hope does. My parents used to work at Agape, and so that's where they got that idea. Yeah, it's not just like housework. It's definitely like they do bucking hay, and all of this is while you're wearing long skirts from your hips to your ankles. Um, they end up there depending on it. All depends on what their parents feel like. I don't know why every girl gets sent there. We had a 5-year-old. We had Rachel Kelso, who is a disabled girl. Um, she's like a 5-year-old. She's the sweetest little thing ever, and but she has a hard time controlling her emotions. And so I don't know why she was sent there, but she was sent there, and I don't think she should have been sent there. Hey, Carly, since you're here, why were you sent there, if you don't mind me asking? When I was there, it was just my parents. We did have a few staff, but those staff left. Like one lady, she left because she knew the abuse that was going on. I can't remember her last name. Otherwise, I would find her. But a lot of the times, the staff members don't stay because of the stuff that happens and stuff. Yeah, the Bible is definitely, that's why it's all in caps, because the Bible is the only book. Yep, a 5-year-old. She was sent there. I don't know why she was sent there, but she was there. She was put in my room for a little bit. And then I don't remember why she got moved out of my room, but they moved her out of my room up in with the girls. So, yes, Rachel Kelso is still at the school. Honestly, there's only a few girls that I can tell you off the top of my head that are brainwashed and still believe it. One of them is still currently working there, and the school most likely will be handed to her, from what I'm being told. I don't know. There are some other girls that aren't brainwashed, but they are just not ready to come forward yet, which is totally fine. We totally understand that. We support them fully, and they know that when they're ready to come forward, we're there for them. So, yes, Rachel is still at the school. She has been there since 2007, unfortunately. Yeah, Rachel and her sister would get punished for looking at each other. Would the girl, like when I left, were the girls get punished for looking at each other? Oh, okay. So Carly was sent there because she was at another place and they couldn't keep her. She was having panic attacks and she shut down, and so she got sent to Circle of Hope. Brainwashed to believe what Circle of Hope believes in the IFB. So when I was there, I don't know, Carly could probably say yes or no, but when I was there, we had to learn how to be a wife. It was called How to Be a Helpmeet. I don't know if any of you guys know what the Spare the Rod, Spoil the Child book is. It's by like Debbie Pearl or something like that. So we had to learn how to be a wife from her book, how to be a help me. I can't remember what it was called. Basically, how to be a help, like a housewife, and that was our a lot of my school, like my grade came from that, which is weird. I honestly, I can't say if that or not, Katie. I want to say that they know what they're doing is wrong because they're hiding it, but at the same time, I don't know. Like part of my brainwashing, I guess, still is like, or not my brainwashing, but I still get conflicted sometimes. I don't know if they believe what they're doing. Honestly, I believe if they believed in what they were doing, they would be more willing to stand up for it, if that makes sense, rather than hiding behind everything. Because every time, um, we've written a review, they've taken it down. Like when I went to Dr. Phil, they said no. And I'm like, well, if you believed in what you're doing, I feel like you should stand up for what you're doing. So I don't know. I get confused there. Yeah, that they monitor all family communication. Yeah, I'm gonna actually on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna be interviewing all the girls that ran away. I ran away too. I'm gonna try to get the girl Chloe that I ran away with to come on my YouTube channel and talk about our run because that was a pretty crazy run. Chanel's run was Chanel's run was pretty crazy because she hitchhiked basically back to England. Um, I know she didn't hitchhike all the way back to England, but she basically got made her way back to England. We made it all the way to New Mexico. I'm not sure where Carrie like made, but Carrie told me she ran away and she'll come on my YouTube. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what I think they would be doing right now. My dad wanted to be a pastor, but because he was married and divorced before, the religion that they're in won't let him be a pastor. So I think that's probably why he does this that he right now. Let's see. Bye, Tara. Or is it Tiara? Sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing people's names. I think I'm going to go soon too. So if anyone has any more questions, I would gladly answer them. But I don't even know what time it is right now. Hold on. No, it's 8:02. So it's actually not as late as I thought it was going to be. Carly or any girls that were from Circle of Hope, is there anything you would like me to say? It's located in Missouri. It's located in like out in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. Where are my kids? My kids are sleeping. It's 8 o'clock right now. They go to bed like usually when the sun comes down. I don't know why. That's just been their thing since. Oh, Rachel Kelso's from the Philippines. She was adopted out of the Philippines. She was like, I think one or two. So I can tell you some of her back history. So her brother, I dated him for a little bit, and then on the back of his head, his this is her biological brother. His biological dad would put out cigarettes on the back of his head. There were days that he was chained for days, chained to a tree, and made to eat from a dog food bowl. This was while he was in the Philippines. They were in the Philippines. Rachel Kelso was kicked like a football across the room that they lived in. So like she comes from an abusive family, and for the adopted family to just not care about her, like honestly, I don't know how else to put it. I have no idea how else to put it. To not show her the love, care, and compassion that she needs, to just push her away. It's so fucked up. Yes, it does affect my everyday life. I have been suicidal since I was 9. Thankfully, I haven't had a actual attempt since 2011. No, sorry, 2012. Right before I didn't know I was pregnant, and I tried taking my own life, and that was my last attempt. But I deal every day. Every day, I deal with thoughts, unfortunately. I have my kids that talk me out of that, but it is something I deal with my whole life. I'll deal with the rest of my life. I didn't. Oh, how did I run away without getting caught? We did get caught, but I had a cell phone at this time, and I contacted a guy that showed the slightest interest in me at. I knew his name because it was on his name tag, and he worked at the local grocery store. And my dumbass decided to look his name up in the phone book, and there wasn't that many people with the same name. And so we contacted him and basically told him everything that was going on. He told his dad. His dad said, "Yeah, you can take them to Kansas." And so he took us to Kansas City. And the place he took us, the guys were like, "You can't leave these girls here," because they were older people, and they're like, "You can't leave them here." And so we're all like, "Okay." So we get in the car, and this was we were at Pittsburgh University or something, and so Chloe was all like, "Just go west, go west." And so like basically we begged people for money. We told them that our grandma was dying and we needed to get back to California. And honestly, Missouri people are the nicest people. We got people giving us $20 here and there. I had no idea. Chanel saying the same thing with her. She got people like helping her. It was honestly, if it weren't for the people of Missouri, I'm pretty sure we would have died. We almost died in Oklahoma. When we got to New Mexico, we stopped at this gas station, and I don't know how it happened, but the two, it was a lesbian couple that worked there. One of them was like, "Hey, do you guys want food?" And we're like, "Yeah." So they let us raid the gas station, and we got like sandwiches and like sodas and stuff like that. And we went back to her house, and we stayed there for like a day or two. And then Chloe was dating a gang member at the time, and it just scared this ever loving shit out of me to go back there just because of how I was raised. And so I contacted my grandma, and my grandma basically contacted my parents, and that's how I got sent back. Well, the two girls I ran away with, my Lynn got sent back to Circle of Hope, and she was put in an orange shirt and put on the wall for a long time. Chloe didn't come back, but she was 17 when she ran away, so she she didn't. My kids are 7 and 5. No, my parents have not reached out to me since doing this. I don't think they ever would. My husband's sleeping. Honestly, Bella, I'm so glad to see you here, and I'm so happy that yes, I'm happy too. Honestly, when you got sent there, it was so sad. And then when my mom told me you got sent back there, I was like, I was so heartbroken for you, girl. I'm so sorry. Yeah, New Mexico was like honestly, I got sent to a halfway house there, and the people there were so like I don't know, they were so nice, but um since like being out of the Circle of Hope and going back, I went back to like New Mexico, and it was just I was like, how did I don't mean this in a bad way. I was just like where we were at. I was like, I don't know how I survived it. If it weren't for that couple, honestly, I think we probably would have died. And it's not like it was like a bad area. It's just I wasn't street smart. I had never been out in the real world, so I probably would have done something stupid and ended up with the wrong person. I am so glad we met the people we did, because if it weren't for them, we would have died. Oh, if you want, you can just post it to your TikTok, or you can message it to me. I don't know. Are we friends on Facebook? If not, you can just message it to me on Instagram. If you want me to post it on this one, I can post it too. I have gone to the police a couple of times. I actually talked to the police today, and they said that their hands are tied. They keep taking it to the PA, the public attorney. I'm going to post a video so I don't have to keep saying the phone numbers over and over. I'm going to post a video of the sheriff's department's phone number for you guys to contact, and Rachel's Rachel's caseworker. I don't know why that was so hard to say, other than I'm just really tired. What got me through the days when I was there, my dog. I had a dog named Stanley, and then I had a dog named Sinbad, and basically that's what got me through the days while I was there. Um, the girls, we weren't really allowed to talk, but we did make friendships. When my parents would go to sleep, some of us girls would stay up later at night and talk and do things we weren't supposed to do. Not proud, but because I wasn't allowed to listen to music, I did steal a lot of CDs from Dollar General, and Maroon 5 was the first CD I ever stole, and then Panic at the Disco was another one. Um, my friend Ashley, when she was at the school, she went out and bought me, when her dad came and visited her, she had him go buy me a Taylor Swift CD and a whole bag of gummy bears. So that's how they snuck that in. So I got like some CDs and stuff like that. And so at night we would like stay up and listen to that. And like that's basically what got me through the day. I was trapped at Circle of Hope since 2006 to 2009. They made me leave in January 2009, and they opened up June. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to go to bed because it's 9 o'clock here. Is it 9 or 8? It's 8, 8:11. It's actually not as late as I thought. I keep thinking that. Are there any other questions? If not, I think I'm going to go because I'm tired and I've been on here for an hour and a half. All right, guys. Well, oh, wait. Oh, are you on the East Coast? Yeah, I have to, like, my kids wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have to take care of my dogs too. So, my dog just had, well, she's not my dog. I took in a stray that ended up having puppies, and she is my dog now. So, I have to go take care of her too. So, well, thank you guys for listening, and I probably will do some more. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to ask. I can do more TikTok videos with the questions, but I am going to be working on my YouTube a little bit more. Because I want to get not just my story out, I want to get the girl's story out, because I think it's very, very important that they have a platform to speak on. And at least for me, just opening up about it, it's been very therapeutic. So I'm hoping that would help them too. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining, Janine, and everyone else. Thank you guys. I love you too, Jean. I don't know if you want me to call you Jean Queen or Carly, but I I love you. All right, guys. Bye. Let's start with this. And